you are sure of one thing more than any other, that you are not a machine running through the motions, that there is genuinely someone in here, feeling what it feels like to be you. A computer can say the words, "I am conscious." So can you. The difference, you assume, is that when you say it, it is actually true. Here is the unsettling part. That difference, the one thing separating you from a very good imitation, is something you can never actually demonstrate. Not to me, not to anyone, not even to your own self. By the end of this, you will see that the fact you are surest of is also the one your brain only ever reports and never proves. Chapter 1. The Cogito Trap. Almost 400 years ago, in 1641, the French philosopher Rene Descartes tried to doubt everything, wondering if maybe the whole world is a dream, or maybe a demon is feeding him false sights and sounds. He pushed that doubt as far as it would go, and he hit one wall it could not pass, because even if everything you experience is fake, something still has to be there to be fooled. I think, therefore I am. You have heard the line 100 times, but here is what almost nobody notices about it. Descartes did not measure his mind. He did not run a single test. He just noticed that he was having an experience and felt certain about it, and that is the whole trick. The proof of your own mind is not evidence you can hold up to the light. It is a feeling of certainty produced by the very mind you are trying to confirm. You are the judge, the witness, and the accused all at once. So when you say you know you are conscious, what you actually have is a report. A very convincing one, but still just a report. Chapter 2. The Hard Problem. You might think this is only a gap that science has not gotten around to filling yet, that if you give the neuroscientists enough time and enough scanners, they will eventually find the exact part of the brain that switches the lights on. In 1995, an Australian philosopher named David Chalmers explained why that hope has a crack running right through it. He split the whole question into two halves. The easy problems are things like how your brain sorts colors, stores a memory, or steers your attention. Difficult, but still normal science. Then there is the other half, the one he named the hard problem, which asks why any of that activity is accompanied by an inner experience at all. And here is what is strange. You could map every neuron, trace every signal, and build a perfect machine that does precisely what a brain does, and nothing in that map would tell you whether the lights are on inside it. The experience simply does not show up in the wiring. Chalmers called that space between the physical brain and the felt experience the explanatory gap, and 30 years of brain scanning has not closed it by a single inch. Chapter 3, The Zombie Twin. So far this has all been about minds in general, but now make it about you, because this is where it gets personal. Imagine a copy of you, the same brain, the same body, atom for atom. It walks, it talks, it laughs at the same jokes, and it says, "I feel happy on exactly the days you would. There is just one difference, and it is the only one that matters, because inside the lights are off. Nobody is home. No experience, no inner life, just machinery running quietly in the dark." Philosophers call this a philosophical zombie, and Chalmers built it into a careful argument back in 1996. Here is the trap. From the outside, you could never tell your zombie twin apart from the real you, since it would pass every test, every brain scan, every late-night conversation, and it would insist, loudly, that it is conscious. Now turn that around, because the only evidence you have ever handed anyone that you are conscious is precisely that. You say so, you report it. Which means the proof of your inner life and the behavior of a thing with no inner life look completely identical. Think about that for a moment. The one fact you are surest of leaves no fingerprint on the world at all. Chapter 4. The User Illusion. Fine, you might say I cannot prove it to you, but surely I can prove it to myself because I can feel how rich and detailed my experience is right now. That feeling is exactly what this next idea goes after. In 2016, the British philosopher Keith Frankish gave a name to a startling position called illusionism. The claim is not that you are a robot or that nothing at all is happening in there. It is that the vivid, glowing, undeniable quality of your experience is itself a kind of trick the brain plays. Daniel Dennett, back in 1991, called it the user illusion, like the smooth desktop on a computer that quietly hides the messy code underneath. And here is the part nobody mentions, because your brain has a long history of lying to you about exactly this. Your vision feels seamless and complete, edge to edge, in full detail, except that it really is not. In 1999, the psychologists Daniel Simons and Christopher Chabre had people watch a clip and count basketball passes, and about half of them completely missed a person in a gorilla suit strolling right through the middle of the screen. You feel like you see everything, but really you see a rough sketch, your brain quietly fills in the rest, and then it tells you the detail was there the whole time. So the brain monitoring itself, what scientists call metacognition, is not a flawless inner camera. It is a storyteller, and it has already been caught making things up. Chapter 5. The Press Release. There is one more layer to all of this, and it gets stranger still. You feel like the one in charge, the decider, the author of your own actions. In 1983, a scientist named Benjamin Libet wired people up and watched their brains as they chose when to move, and he found that the brain began preparing the movement about a third of a second before the person felt they had decided anything. The action was already rolling before you knew it was yours. And the split brain patients studied by Michael Gazzaniga push it even further, because when the two halves of the brain are surgically divided, one half can act for a reason the talking half has no access to, so the talking half simply invents a reason on the spot and believes it completely. Gazzaniga named that part the interpreter. Put all of it together, and a deeply odd picture comes into focus, one where the you that narrates your life may not actually be the thing running it. It may instead be a press release, written after the decisions are already made, announcing them as though they were yours. Consciousness, on this view, is not the boss reading the report. It might just be the report. So go back to where you started, completely sure that you are not an imitation, that there is genuinely someone in here feeling all of this. That certainty has not gone anywhere, and nothing here can talk you out of it, which is exactly the point, because the feeling was never the sort of thing you could step outside of and check. The next time you catch yourself sure, absolutely sure, that there is a you in here living this exact moment, just notice who is telling you so. It is the same voice you are trying to verify, and it has every reason in the world to say yes.